Good morning and welcome to the Smart Life Club. I'm Vickie Helm and this is the Coffee Break Show. And today we have James Bond on with us. No, I'm sorry. Okay, not quite James Bond. It's Martin Wales and we're going to have so much fun today. I'm so excited to see you on. Listen, if this is the first time you've been on the Coffee Break Show, do me a favor. Put your name down there. We want to know you. We want to get to see you. We're going to get to talk to you. We want to know who you are. If this is the very first time you've been here, we share inspiration, motivation. We have tips, tools, and tactics that we go ahead to help you have a more productive, a more thrivable life. And today is Wednesday Welcome. Wednesday Welcome comes once a week. And Wednesday Welcome, we always have a guest that is an expert in their field. I see you guys popping on. Do me a favor and say hello to us. Great to see you coming on today. If you're watching this afterwards, hashtag replay. So glad you're coming on today. And if you're on YouTube, welcome to YouTube Live. This is the show where we have coffee and hang out. Today's guest is Martin Wales, and we're going to have so much fun. I can't even wait to meet him. I just can't wait to meet him. Do me a favor. Hello, good morning. Woohoo! Welcome, Martin Wales. It's coming on now. And so what is happening right now is on YouTube. Would you do me a favor? Hit the like button and the subscribe button. Hit that notification. Good morning, everyone from Donald. Good morning, Brian Rogers. Of course. Boo, no Speedo. I know. See, he's got his James Bond clothing on. And he's got cufflinks. They're Queen's cufflinks on right now. He's very dressed up. Welcome, Martin Wales from Barb Tomlin. Nice to see you on. Stephen Hilzak, welcome. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad you're coming on board. Now, I want to tell you about Martin. I met Martin like, God, it's almost been a couple of decades, a long time ago. And Martin has this just illustrious career. I mean, he's had this illustrious career, but what I really like about him is I'm going to let him tell you a lot about his career because he has done some phenomenal stuff in his lifetime. But this is the guy for me, who I go to when I need copy. He's written my bio. He's written my introduction. He's written my book titles. He has book titles that I've done. I hired this guy because this guy is the king at book titles, the king at book titles. And if you say, Martin, this is a great book, but I just don't know what to name it. And you go, okay, well, let me see it. And he'll come up with titles for you. I have 5 titles. Most of the titles there. This guy is the guy who taught me how to write a title of a book. And I am forever grateful for that because I am finishing my 37th book right now from that time. And from the time that you worked with me and said, this is how we get a title, this is a subtitle, these are the things, Martin rocks with that. But he's not just a marketing guy. He's like the top marketing guy for me. And the reason I like working with him is because he's just fun. He's just super fun. And Martin, I just want to welcome you to the Coffee Break Show today. I'm so glad you squished us into your time slot right now.
Vickie, always a pleasure. I really enjoy your show. As your regular viewers know, I pop in as much as I can. Always enjoy your energy and your enthusiasm. So you lift me up. And I really thank you for that introduction. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, Martin, I do want to say, I know you've done a lot. And just take a moment and tell everybody what the things you've done. I know that you have done, you've done radio shows. I mean, you've done so much. Mm-hmm. Could you kind of encapsulate them so they know more than what I just said?
Sure. It comes down to communication in a combination of education, entertainment, and elevating your thinking. So it just really comes down to those things. Now, the medium may change. So if you remember back in the day, Marshall McLuhan said the medium is the message because television was so new. But I tell you today, and this is a writer downer, the message is the message. Because we have come up with so many different platforms, video, audio, different platforms on video as well. Short videos, long videos, you name it, right? So documentaries, edutainment, movies, and so on. So the message is the message. Because if you're hearing the sound of my voice and you can't see my face right now, I want to speak in sound bites so that you hear me, so that you can absorb it. You have time to think about it, write it down, those sorts of things. So if you're out there, here's a tip right here. If you're going to do a podcast, I think it's something like 65% of people still listen to audio mainly, or
Wow.
listen to the audio off. So you have to think of two things. One, speak as if they cannot see you. So I'm going to say, hey, Vickie, that's a really nice shirt you're wearing today.
Thank you.
If I'm going to be stripping off the audio and putting it on Apple iTunes. In the same token, if it is going to be video, you have to script it. You have to get that rolling script down the bottom now, the transcript. So usually how I introduce myself is I'm Martin Wales, the customer catcher. I help you get customers until you beg me to stop. And that's the title and the subheadline. If I introduce a speaker, I can throw that out there and steal that marketing moment. I often get the same number of leads at a live event as I do as if I was the speaker when I introduce them. So if you can come up with a tagline, if you will, or a brand or something that implies the benefit, people will come to you without you even asking because they're interested in what you do. And you notice I just said I help you get customers. That is their biggest perceived problem, but it's not often the real problem. Sometimes the problem is customer retention. But if I stand in front of 100 CEOs and say, who wants more customers? They all put up their hand. If I stand in front of 100 people and say, who wants their customer retention program? They're like, two of them half put their hand up. And they're like, I'll have another drink. Thank you very much. Shaking, not stirring. So, I'm just blessed to have been in different mediums. I was a high school teacher, which taught me to communicate. If you can market to 35 kids 3 times a day to sit down for 70 minutes and listen to the molecular theory, you learn how to sell. So I've always been able to do that. I became a salesman selling telephone systems with no marketing department and no marketing budget. So I learned how to do PR. I started writing articles in the school magazines that I was selling to, things like that. I ended up writing articles for a small business magazine. I just always told them, if you ever have an emergency, if a guest does not show up, call me. And they did one day. And I went, boom, raced downtown to the office tower, got on the radio show. And the executive producer after the show said, wow, I really like the way you handle those questions. Would you like to take over as host of the show? Because the host wants to not do it anymore. And, I made all those journalists and broadcast students who studied for 2 to 4 years in college cry as I took over the chair. So, sorry. But again, the medium is different. So that's radio. You're talking. People are calling in, asking questions. Video, slightly different. I've done national television segments for marketing training, for business shows and things like that. So you get to learn how to speak, well, quickly. And I always try to learn to speak more concisely.
I think it's interesting too. You did Microsoft's radio show, didn't you? You were.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were doing the business show, and Microsoft called us and said, hey, can we sponsor your show? So something like $6,000, or maybe it was as high as $13,000 an hour to be on the air in the 4th largest media market. So here's another tip. If you can get a brand name sponsor, it elevates your status and credibility, and they pay for your marketing.
Those are good ideas. You said something earlier that really caught me, and I really looked at this, and you were like, okay, when you did something very interesting, you said that your message is your message.
Mm-hmm.
And inside that message right now, there are several mediums. And if you're going to do a podcast or a vlog or whatever, you were talking about presenting like you're on a podcast all the time, or presenting in such a way. Give them 3 tips, because I know when I present, I have a tendency to talk faster because I'm usually really excited to see somebody. And when you're excited, you're like, blah, 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 or at least I am. And I'll get to you guys in a second. I see you all over there they're just saying hello and everything. I'll be there in a second. Would you just do me a favor and give maybe like 3 tips if you were going to start a program right now from scratch? Would you go podcast? Would you go video podcast? Would you, what's the medium you would use right now? Was it, radio? What is it? Because I love to ask the experts right now,
oh, my word.
What is the one that you would use and why? What would you like and why?
Okay. You just asked me a gazillion questions.
I did.
Let me start, but you can say hello to everyone, and I will answer your questions as best I can. So I often speak very quickly too, and I'm excited and I'm enthusiastic, but you have to remember, if you're too fast and too enthusiastic, you scare people. You're like, whoa. You sort of I have often given presentations and people afterwards have said, Martin, thank you. Fantastic. Beautiful information, tons of information. But listening to you is trying to take a drink of water from a fire hose. So one, you don't want to cross the line of it so fast they don't understand. Proper communication is that the other party understands and receives it. Now, what you want to do is, the challenge is if you're fearful and you talk fast, because a horse can smell fear and so can a human. So if you're speaking so fast because you're worried you're not going to get enough information to them in a short period of time, that's a challenge. And here's the solution. Ask a question. Don't tell them. So when I say, I'm the customer catcher, I help you get customers until you beg me to stop, then I go, whoop, and they say, wow, I want more customers. How can you do that? And I say, well, it depends. Tell me more about your business, which is kind of a question, right? And then they say, well, I'm in the manufacturing business. I do plant-based barbecue sauce. And I say, great, that sounds awesome. How's that going? They say, it's excellent. And I say, well, that's fantastic. So what's your biggest problem? And they say, my biggest problem is customer retention or email marketing. And I say, great, I specialize in customer retention. Let's have a conversation about that. And then you make an appointment, usually because it's at networking or maybe a wedding. You network. And here's the tip. First of all, always sell the appointment first. Don't sell you. Don't sell your solution. Don't be in love with your solution all over them, right? It's like watching a couple of teenagers swap spit and tongues. And it's like, you don't want to do that. You first want to ask for the date. So the first thing to sell is the appointment. So there's that. Now to answer your question about what would I do first? If you're going to go fishing, go where the fish are and you'll catch more fish. So to answer your question, whether it's podcast, video, what medium or media does your target market consume? And that's what you would do first. So here's the wisdom. I'll call it that, if I may be so bold. Be objective oriented, not process oriented.
Ooh, love that.
I want to reach 100 good clients a month or prospects, right? Not, I need to start a podcast so people can find me, right? Because you don't know. Yes. Okay. So find out where the barrel is with the fish in it. Don't go out into the middle of the ocean and throw out a hook with the wrong bait or the wrong depth where the fish don't live.
You know, I want you to repeat that again. It says, don't be something, be objective. I should have written that down.
Set your objectives first and then determine the processes or the paths to the objective.
It's so important right now. Did you guys hear that? It's like, where do they consume content? Do they consume content on podcasts or video? Where does your target market hang out? And what do they do? That's so brilliant, because a lot of people are like, I got to start a show so they can find me. I mean, that's really what the average person does. And we don't actually say, where would they find me at? Beautiful. Right. Martin, I got to say hi to these people. They're trying to say hi to you. Good morning, everyone. Boo, no Speedo. Welcome, Martin Wales. Good morning, Martin. I don't even know what to say. Laugh out loud. Good morning, y'all. Mary Jo. Nice to see you, Mary Jo. Karen says, hi, everyone. Brian says, Martin, do you have a costume closet? You looked like a hillbilly yesterday. You're cracking me up, Brian. I'm telling you, this guy's like your big brother or something. I don't know. He wrote my bio, literally $1 million bio. I'm not going to lie to you. That's true for me as well, Brian. I want to tell you that some of the work Martin does for you, it doesn't bring in scatterings of money. It brings in a lot of money. And literally, Brian Rogers, he's saying, he wrote my bio, literally $1 million bio. And I'm going to tell you that true. He did write my bio as well. And I remember struggling with that. And he was like, oh, whips and poof, he had it. And it's like well worth the time. Barb said, what a hoot, colorful character on screen. Yes, he is. Jane Goodhart, good morning to all. Robin says, speak as if they cannot see you. Yes, speak as if they cannot see you. I thought that was a gem as well. That was from Robin. Karen says, Brian, that doesn't surprise me. Robin says, message is your message. And you know, I got to say, that's the first time I'd heard that. Your message is your message. And let me
reframe that for you. The message is the message, means that is the most important thing. The
Yes.
message is the message. Your message is the most important thing. Give them one message, hammer it home with 3 points, but it's the same message. The biggest mistake people make is trying to say too much in too little time, or too much in too much time, which is worse.
Slow speaking. Karen, it's critical to create a picture and a story in the people's head. It's important on audio as it is on video or in person. That's true. Learn more just now than I've learned on a $2,000 course. You know, I'm going to agree with that. Martin is precise, he's concise. And here's what I can tell you. I can tell you from personal experience, the advice he's going to give you works. There's 2 people Martin has worked with on this call right now who've earned 7 figures from working with Martin, just full stop. So it works. So if he's saying, I just learned, thank you, Brian, by the way, more just now than I've learned on a $2,000 course, pay attention. This is a super important call today. Martin is such a wealth of information. Yes. Hey, good morning, Lachelle. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone, she said. Karen, Martin's 3 tips. Speak fast, but not too fast. Don't speak fast out of fear. Before you tell them what you do, ask them questions. Then you can say, that's great. I do pick one. Whatever that fill in the blank is right there. That's true. You've got to get the appointment first. Don't sell them on your problem solving. Don't sell them on that. That was gems right there. And if you understand that, you will catch more customers than you know about. Barb says, oh, so in alignment with his thinking. That's one reason Facebook groups are gold for folks like me. Yes, they are. She gets her precise client right in there. Barb is she's an admin of mine, and she helped me get the show rolling. She's actually kind of coached me in the background for that as well. And she does do that very well. Stephen says, Martin, love your message. Please try to stay close to the microphone. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll speak a little bit louder. Karen, Brian, Martin has an incredible talent, well worth the investment to work with Martin. Yes, I can attest to that. Lachelle says, so true, get over your ego. That can distort on and interfere with the message. Yes. Martin, I want to talk about that. I'm so underdressed, said Scott. Thank you. He's got his James Bond clothing. He is, yes, even I'm underdressed right now. I love that for this occasion. Lachelle, I want to go back to your statement there after I do this. Brilliant, Lachelle. Ego can be one of the most damaging things. Scott, you have to put the clothes on first, said Karen. So what happens? I want to go back to this, Martin. This is such an important thing. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people, you mentioned this earlier. Don't be so precious with your idea or what you do or how you do it, and be more flexible in your mindset. And this person just said it right there. Get over your ego that can distort and interfere with your message. So what would you say to somebody if they were maybe not struggling, but maybe kind of more boastful versus okay. How do we take the boastful message and get it ironed out? Do you understand the question I'm asking?
Sure. I believe I do. And you know, there's the total egotist. Hi there. I'm wonderful. You need to work with me. You know, like that kind of thing. But I think part of the challenge is we've been raised to be modest, and we don't like to toot our own horn. And that's fine, because really what you're supposed to be doing is talking about your prospect and your client. And don't lead with you. So even if someone says, this is classic, what do you do? The real question they're asking is, what can you do for me?
Yes.
Right? So that's the question you really have to answer. Even when you write a curriculum vitae, a resume, I write on mine, I don't say I was just vice president of marketing. I said vice president of marketing, who increased sales $1 million, or did $1 million email in a single day, increased sales 54%. Company went from 450,000 a year to 5 million a year and sold for 12.4 to web.com. Right? So the implication is, this is what I can do for the new company, kind of thing. The first thing you can do is have other people talk about you. This is the importance of testimonials. This is the importance of the logos from the news things that you've been on. Now, again, I'm kind of tired of people shoving those down your throat, where, they have the picture on Facebook and half of it's NBC and all that kind of stuff. That's a little old school to me. That's a little 1998, 2004, whatever it is. You can maybe shift that to your about page, or I've seen some people make it more subtle and they grayscale it so you can see that they're there, but they're not, the full NBC Peacock and, the whole deal, Fox News and red squares. And I don't want to market them. I just want to indicate that I was there. And here's another marketing tip. And this all relates to everything we're talking about. Even when you're on the news and 2 million people see you on the news, nobody calls you.
That's true.
But when they come to your website, that's when you present the PR that you were on. That's why it's important to capture that. So when I'm in Huffington Post, I screen capture it and I get the link, and then you can use the logo and all that. But I just use that as a justification for the prices I charge or the people that hire me later. I don't expect it. Not a single person emailed me, actually maybe 2, and they were buddies, and they just said, "Hey, I saw you in Huffington Post, cool." So people phone you to congratulate you. They don't phone to give you cash. So you just use your PR as a credibility. So very much like people think they do a podcast. The biggest mistake is that they think it's a radio show. It is not a broadcast. It does not go out to, our show went out to a city of 4 million people or something. We had 15,000 people on average listening every 15 minutes kind of thing in the Nielsen book. And so a podcast is just like a website. It's there, but you have to market it. It's there amongst hundreds of thousands now. You have to market it. So think back before technology when you wrote a book and you're like, "Oh, I'm in the bookstore." Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
People, you're in the trade show. I'm in the trade show. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are personally responsible for driving traffic to your marketing tools. So you have to drive people to go buy your book at Amazon. You have to market to get traffic to go to your podcast. You get people on your podcast to rate it and review it. And you have to invite people every time you're doing your podcast. Thanks for being with us. Tell a friend, share the link, give us a review. You have to ask them every single time. Yeah. So it's your energy, your responsibility that drives the success of it. One of the reasons Brian Rogers, who's on here, is very successful is he puts his personal energy into everything he does and doesn't stop until he gets what he wants. So action is what it's about. It's not like I made a podcast, put it up, sit back, wait for the calls. Right? So that's what you call a poser, not an influencer. So answering your question. Oh, ego. So the way to speak, to learn how to speak this way. So when someone says, "What do you do?" they're asking, "What can you do for me?" When someone says, "Tell me about your program," you don't say, "This is a 12-module program with da-da-da-da and templates and this and that." You say, "This program allows an entrepreneur like you to reach success sooner. This program shows you how you can take shortcuts and eliminate the problems that you face, whether it's hiring employees, paying staff at this time, getting more customers, not paying so much for marketing." So you're talking about their problems, and then you're kind of like, it's in there. You're not describing each module in detail and so on. So really,
did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? If you didn't hear that, you need to just that little paragraph right there that he just did. I put my James Bond mic on.
James Bond mic. Did you not hear?
If you go back and just pull that part that he just said back to you. Martin, I want to drive this home. That was $1 million point. I will tell you that because he taught me that. I'm going to tell you right now, that's $1 million point, what he just said. Don't just tell him it's a 12-unit program and it's got this and it's got that. It's what it fundamentally does for them. And the paying attention to that one, and I'm going to actually listen to this replay again because he's talking very casually and we're having fun and it's a great message and everything else. But he just gave you the keys to the kingdom. Everybody's talking about how I want to make more money, make more money, make more money. Well, the keys to doing that is communicating your message in a way that helps other people understand why they want to do business with you. And he's giving you 4 steps right in there, very casually and kind of fun, and just do this and just do that and blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, these are 7-figure antidotes you just got. Martin, you are dropping bombs. And that last one was very, very, very important. I want to pop over here because like everybody is speaking.
Let me give some very practical tips for you. Let's say what you need to do is work on your packaging and your positioning before your promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Work on your packaging and your position before your promotion. So what is your message? What's the media you're going to use? And then the marketing. So, for example, you talked about, how to deal with your ego and so on. If you're a man, have a woman introduce you on the voiceover of your podcast. If you're a female, have a man introduce you. So there's contrast. You have them talk about you in the third party. Welcome to Customer Catcher Radio. So it'd be a woman. Hi, welcome to Customer Catcher Radio. This is the place where you can grow your small business into a bigger business with less money and less time and less headache. Now, here's your host, Martin Wales. And I'm, hi, it's Martin Wales, the Customer Catcher, right? So it's kind of, so you have contrast. But you were talking about, testimonials. Have testimonials for your media. Have testimonials for your podcast. So the reviews are your testimonials. If you put up just testimonials and then said, want to buy one for your product, you would probably sell more than spending thousands and thousands of dollars on copywriting or processes or ClickFunnels or whatever. You get so caught up in the process that you forget the objective, right? So
yes,
look at Home Shopping Network and so on. They just have testimonial after testimonial. They have a good salesperson saying, if you want to get a tan without going outside in dangerous UV, then you need the Tan Bed 2000X. And then they have Martha from Kentucky. Martha, I love this tanning machine. It's so good. And then they have a teacher. They have a nurse. They have a doctor. Why? They have a mom. Right?
Experts.
So they have experts who are talking about something they know nothing about, but they're just a consumer. But it's the status of the title that gets you. So when you write a book, you get testimonials and people to write in the front of it who are recognized ahead of you. So I call that stealing brand or rubbing up against brand, right?
Yeah.
So I used to work with Tony Robbins. I started the first franchise in Canada and Toronto. I used to speak with Mark Victor Hansen and Zig Ziglar. If you don't have any meaningful specifics, you will be a wandering generality, right? So you talk about the people you've worked with. Zig's gone, but he downloaded here. Tony's expensive, but he downloaded here, right? So I used to go to Jay Abraham. He's like, well, my first copywriting, direct marketing mentor, Jay Abraham. And it's funny. First time I met him was in the men's room. And he's like doing his stuff at the urinal. I'm like, Jay Abraham, I want to talk to you. I want to shake your hand. And he's like, that was embarrassing. But let's see, 2006, I finally spoke with him on stage in Los Angeles. And I think I met him in 1996 or something. So I finally, 12 years later, got to speak on the stage with him. So you just get starstruck with these people. So, when you get to work with your mentors and the pillars of marketing, and J. Conrad Levinson, the granddaddy and founder of guerrilla marketing, just Dottie West, the matriarch of the speaking industry, right?
Yeah.
It's just a sweet lady.
Yeah.
I hired her one time and she was consulting with me in this hotel. And I took a break and I went outside, and at the end of the hall was a door. It said, no exit, like a fire sign, no exit. And underneath it said washrooms. Anyway, back to you. How can I serve you?
I want to jump in because there's a bunch of people saying a lot of stuff. Lachelle, I want to say thank you for the no ego comment because that's so important. Brilliant, Lachelle. Scott, you have to put your clothes on, but I thought mask and gloves were enough. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you. Steven says, dress is important, and I appreciate your look. And just as important is the message, and you are doing a great job. Yes, he is. Don't worry about tooting your own horn. Your audience will do that for you. Listen, I want to tell you something very specifically. Today, I know a lot of people are on and everything else, and everybody is thinking, okay, well, maybe having 7-figure marketings or 7-figure launches, those are something that you can't hold in your mind. Okay, so what about a $200,000 launch? I'm going to tell you, Martin has so many successes in marketing. He is one of, in my opinion, the single best communicators of a message. And that's why I hired him. I'm like, my book titles have to pop, and my message has to pop. And you get the best guys into the industry to help you make that message pop. So that's so important, to be a master communicator in that way. And he's verbally a master, written a master. He's like everything a master in any kind of communicating. And, you know, Stephen, I got to tell you, I think part of it is just like you, he was a teacher as well. So Karen says, prospect doesn't want to know what you do. They want to know how you can help them. That's true.
Right.
Use PR as credibility. Yes.
Mhm.
You guys are getting these gems down so much. Brian, good point, Martin. Guilty as charged. I'm not quite sure what that was from, but yes. Always best to who is talking about me. Always best to who is talking about me. Lachelle says true PR is for credibility. So true. Market your work or it will sit on the shelf. That's true. I mean, it's like, I remember the first day that I was in a bookstore and I was like, woo, I'm in a bookstore. Yeah. But it didn't sell a copy of the book. You have to be in the bookstore and start marketing that book. Market.
No, here's what you do. You take a picture of you beside your book in the bookstore. And if your book's not in the bookstore, put your book in the bookstore and take a picture of you beside your book in the bookstore. Hey, listen, have you ever gone to Hollywood? If you go to what's the famous Hollywood Boulevard or the famous you go to the strip
Chinese.
there, it's not what you think it is. The Sunset Boulevard, right?
Yeah.
If you go to Hollywood, it's not very pretty. It is
No,
not
it's
the prettiest
not.
part of town.
It's
and
not.
this is what they show you on TV, right? So it's okay for you to create the frame. So create a frame in which you appear. So, you know, my basement's unfinished, so I don't do my videos in my basement. I do it in front of a white background. I do it, you know, I might do it outside or whatever. So it's only a frame that you're showing. So part of presentation is simple. If you don't, you know, some people trying to have plants and lights and, you know, whatever in the background, you just need a plain, simple background. And you know why? Because the message is the message. So sometimes, you know, you don't want to have ugliness in the background. Like, don't get me wrong. You don't want to be stupid about it, but you can be crisp and clean and simple. What brand do you think of when I tell you about crisp and clean and simple? That's mainly white, curved corners with a piece of fruit.
With a piece of what? Fruit?
Fruit. Apple.
Yeah.
Right? Look at Apple marketing. It's white with a simple word. It's sometimes grayed out, nice little gentle font, and they don't talk a lot. They look at the design, right? So their design is certainly amazing, and that, you know, they win points for that big time. But it doesn't mean you can't imitate what you see. How do you learn marketing? What works on you works for you.
Do you get that? What works on you works for you.
I'm walking down the street like Joe Biden on a news conference, and walking down the street, and something stops me. I'm like walking down the street, boom. The best marketing stops. The first objective we talked about is to stop people from what they're doing and get their attention. So it's not like, I have really great stockings for sale, right? That doesn't stop me and get my attention. So they put the stockings on a beautiful model in high heels with their skirt pulled up a little bit. That stopped me before I was married, honey. Before I was married, that stopped me. But now, you know,
you walk on by. You walk on by right now.
Right. I don't even notice it. Don't even notice it. So marketing like that works on women as well as men, because women want to look like that or feel like that.
Sure.
Important. Hear me. Feel like that. Right? They may practically know they might never look like a size 00, but they want to feel like that. That's important in your marketing. You want to make your people feel like something. You may not turn them into something, but they can feel like a rock star by the way you treat them, by the way you talk to them. So in your Facebook group, when you show up, help them be rock stars in what they do. Being a mother, being a dad, being a business person, being an employee, being a manager. Help them be the rock star. And it's about the feeling. It's not about ego. And let me just say, you should have some ego called confidence. Right? Yeah. It's when you take more of your time about you than about them, it becomes egotistical. But you do need some ego just to put right there.
Somebody's saying right now, Lachelle says, great nuggets that you're giving. Don't just do it and wait, be active, then be active some more, said Karen. Marie Jo, great nuggets. Thank you for sharing. Karen, we'll be replaying this to totally absorb Martin's brilliance. He's giving away his success tips to us for free. Now, I want to let you know he is, and this is a wonderful expression of kindness in my opinion from Martin, because He's not cheap. He's expensive. I've worked with him. I've hired him. I know what he's doing. He is giving you these gems right now in this show for free, just because, well, actually, he's being kind to me, really, is what he's doing. But I'm telling you, the market stuff that just happened, the market stuff that you just got, these are 7-figure tips. And when you get this correct, it's not just a customer catcher, it's a customer tsunami. It's like you will get what it is that you do. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth about this. Martin, I'm going to brag on you for a bit. So on my last book, that was a bestseller, I didn't like the title and I didn't know what to do with it. And he came in and said, okay, he did the whole rollout marketing about the book, redid everything. And I mean, I think it was about 36 to 72 hours before we were supposed to launch. And I had this book in my hand and I was like, this sucks. I don't think it'll go. So I was like, Martin, I need some help. And he was like, okay. And so he did that book title, this one right here, that orange cover that's behind me. Martin,
How to Commit Murder and Get Away with It. I can't read it from here.
The Ultimate Freedom Book. And
Right.
once we did it and we did the whole marketing plan, I hit the bestseller list in 4 hours.
Woo!
4 hours. And I use the same thing with my clients that he taught me this one time. And my client went to the bestseller list in 1 hour. 1 hour. And most people don't even get a bestseller out of it. So I'm telling you, this guy is the real deal. And he's dropping so many gems. And because I'm in the industry and I've hired him, I know what he's doing really. And I want to thank you for some of these things. I want to keep going right now. Marie Jo says, it's all about giving out value. Thanks, Martin. Yes, it is. And I'm appreciating the love so much. Oh my gosh, this thing is blowing up, Martin. Give me a minute.
Woo!
Thank you for being so generous with your gifts, Martin. Barb says, these principles are golden. Yes. And been proven for decades. But sadly, the majority of folks haven't paid attention. We're in a new age of awareness. Perfect timing for these principles to be reiterated. Awesome delivery. Thank you very much. I am really liking this. Thank you for being so generous. Jay Abrams is amazing. That's right. Lachelle, he is absolutely. Create a frame. Love that. Create a frame. Thank you. Martin, humor is whoa, you guys slow down. Martin, humor is a huge part of his communication success. Yes. Keeps attention and makes his message so powerful. Yes. Create a frame for what you decide to highlight. Golden nuggets. Yes, they are. Best marketing. Stop people and get their attention. Stop people and get their attention. Thank you. That's awesome. Help them. That was from Karen. I can't go fast enough right now. That's awesome. Help them be the rock star everyone wants. People want to feel a certain way by how you talk with them and how your product services makes them feel. Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. So, Martin, Martin, I'm going to let you know it's on fire right now, and we're a little over, and we're going to keep going a little bit. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I am. Let me. You brought up something there. So
go ahead.
A lot of times people say, I don't know what to talk about. Okay, here's a writer downer. Pain points are sales points. The pain points are selling points. So you write down the people's pain points. So Rick Butts, God bless him.
I love Rick.
We talked about, I forget what it was, the wisdom thesis, right?
Wisdom thesis.
Sales points or pain points or selling points. So what are the pain points that your prospects have? What are the pain points that the industry has? What are the general solutions to those? And then what your specific solutions are to those. Okay. That's the format that you really need to do. So you can address one of those pain points in each of your videos. One of the ways to get attention, number one, is with a question. Number two is with pain. People are doing more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure right now. So people aren't going, want to fly to Hawaii right now. They want to get far away from Hawaii and deep in your basement. So there's different times for different marketing.
That's right.
So let's give everyone the framework for making. This is a framework for making a video, an audio, or even a voicemail. So a voicemail is a radio ad. A voicemail is a 30 to 45 second, maybe 60 if you're really good, voicemail. Right? So I had a gentleman call me back a couple months ago. I wanted to get into this radio station to help them. And I left him a voicemail. And he called me back. And he said, I don't normally call people back, but your voicemail was so interesting, I had to find out what it's about, right?
Brilliant.
So you need to stand out by being different. And you don't be different. You can be different by being louder, a bit faster, those kind of things. But you don't really want to offend anybody, right? Which I've done from time to time. My wife kicks me under the table or whatever, and I say sorry to the Pope or the president or whoever we're with. So it's like, just because he wears a big hat, he looks funny. Anyway, so let's do that. So give me something to talk about or sell. Not preparation H. I've done that. I'm bored with it.
Okay. All right. How about just a basic information product?
No,
do you
let's
need
go
a
crazy.
title?
Let's
go
sell
crazy.
let's sell a nuclear submarine.
Okay.
Like an information product.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's sell a ballistic missile.
A ballistic missile. I'm in. Let's do this.
Right.
We're going to sell a ballistic missile.
We're going to sell
now.
a ballistic missile. So no matter what you sell, you can use this template to do that. So what we're going to do, should I do it first or should I give the format first? I'll do it first, okay?
Let's do it first and give the format. Yeah. You guys pay attention right now. Here's the gem of the gems.
Are you concerned about the national security of your country and its borders? Donald Trump aside, there's a solution that every armed forces needs. It's ballistic missiles. Hi, I'm Martin Wales from Ballistic Missiles Are Us. And today, the world has never been more tenuous or in danger than it ever has been before. So the best offense is sometimes the best defense, and that's what ballistic missiles do. So we have small, convenient pricing from small to large, depending on how far you want to go and how big a boom you want. So if you want a ballistic missile today, contact me, Martin, at Ballistic Missiles Are Us today.
Wow. Fantastic. Okay, break it down for us.
Okay.
That was impressive.
So let's break it down.
Him something harder to sell, shouldn't I have? Go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I want ballistic missiles. Go.
Let's do the template. So the template is 2 hot burning questions or 2 bold claims. So if you want to live to 120 years old and have perfect health, you need to know about this. So 2 big, so I did 2 like pain questions are good. Mm-hmm. Does your back hurt? Have you tried everything but still haven't found the solution? Those are the 2 punch in the nose questions, like get attention. You need to get their attention. Boom, boom, in the nose, right? James Bond just blow dart from in Africa, kill them. But anyway, 2, so we civilized people, now Christians. So say 2 burning questions. Next, an introduction. Now, usually in this introduction, and in these days, I would say you're from your website. So I don't say, like a lot of Americans say, I'm from Austin, Texas, but I grew up in Florida, and then my mom and dad took me to New York, but now I'm in Austin, Texas. Like they always give this biography of where they live and what university they went to or college, so on, right? Anyway, I digress. 2 burning questions. Welcome intro statement. So I'm Martin Wales from ballisticmissilesareus.com, I should have said, right? So when reporters ask me where I'm from, I'm the president of customercatcher.com. I'm the president of founder of Martin Wales Media, whatever, right? So reporters have to write the facts, but they don't like to promote you. So if you're like my official company registered name was my domain name, customercatcher.com, which is on pause right now. If you want to find me, just look me up on Facebook and I'll get you in my group free. So
thank you.
2 burning questions, who you are and where you're from, your website these days. Then 3 points that back up and generally introduce the 2 burning questions that you answered, right? So 3 points, then a summary. I'm off camera here. Joe Biden move. So 3 stairs, Joe Biden too. 4 things. 3 things, I mean. So 2 burning questions, who I am and where I'm from, 3 solid points, a summary, and then a repeat with a call to action, a CTA, a call to action. And again, you can drive them to your website. You can tell them to download the thing. You can, if you're just doing a podcast, tell them to come back next time. And when you're doing podcasting, there's no such thing as come back next time. Well, there is, but you can tell them to go listen to the others, right? If you like this show, go into our archives and listen to our past shows. Recommend your friends. Leave a review for any of the shows that really struck a chord with you and your comments as well. If you have any questions you want answered on our show, send them in. That's an interaction. That's a call to action. Review me. Send me a question. That's a call to action. But don't just say, that's it. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Right?
We have to send them somewhere.
So I hope that's clear, right? So if you're at networking events and you're not getting the attention you want, then there's something you need to work on. Hi, I'm Martin Wales from Martin Wales on Facebook or whatever, right? And today we're going to talk about your business card. The business card is maybe considered old school, but it's still one of the most effective marketing bullets out there today. The first tip is to use a heavier cardstock. So use a 12 instead of a 10 weight. Whatever the next weight up is from the standard for cardstock, that's what you use. Use only 2 simple colors, and you use material that they can write on the back. Good-looking man like James Bond met at a conference, right? People who give out acrylic cards drive me crazy because I can't write on the back. Idiot at James Bond conference. So no, I don't do that. But anyway, I'm just saying have you can write on it. And the best tip of all that people love is I put a curve on the corners. I have them die cut and put a curve. People don't have one on me, but it's kind of curvy and people hold it and they go like that. So if you're looking to improve your business acumen and your networking skills, improve your business card today. Contact me, Martin Wales, and I can send you a free template today. Right? So 2 questions.
Call to action. Yeah.
Pain of not networking properly. 3, the business card, who I am, where I'm from. 3 points or 3 tips about a business card. Summarize, improve your business card, call to action.
Do you guys hear that? That is a template that is to die for. I'm telling you, he's dropping bombs today. Martin, I just want to go.
Want to know the secret? Simple.
Simple.
Here,
So make it simple.
Write this down. The best way to dig a hole is with a shovel.
The best way to dig a hole is with a shovel.
We overcomplicate everything. Back to you.
Okay, so I want to go here. I hear great show. Please share. Always remember, pain points are selling points. I know, I love that too. Thanks, Stephen. I'm buying a ballistic missile now, someone says. You are coachable. Here is the template. Ask 2 burning questions. Introduce yourself. Info of your website. President of Customer Catcher. 3 solid points. Summarize and a call to action. Now, I want to say
let me give you
one more tip.
One more tip.
Yep.
For you detailed people. So there was a gentleman the other day and he's like, oh, I go on and I talk too much. How do I deal with that? I'm a detailed person. Here's the answer. Give 1 detail at a time and then cover them all. Don't try and cover all your details in one 60-second video.
Thank you. That 1 detail at a time. I want to say that's so important, Martin, because sometimes I'm guilty of getting caught in that detail. So I want to tell you something. If you want to learn marketing, Martin's your man. Full stop. So tell them where they can connect with you on Facebook, what you got going, and if they say, man, I want some help with my marketing, how can they get a hold of you? How can we do that?
The best way right now is to look me up on Facebook at Martin Wales, Wales, like the historical republic. I said country one time and some history professor chewed me out. So Martin Wales. Just look me up on Facebook and my personal profile there, or look up the Customer Catcher community, which will soon change to something along the lines of Experts and Entrepreneurs for Excellence, E3.
I like it. So I want to let you know I'm in that group as well because he's done a bit of my marketing as well. So do me a favor, you guys go connect with him right now. If you want to learn marketing, this is the guy. Martin, as always, you are such a fun friend and I love working with you. I love having you on the show today. I got to say, actually, I'm verklempt up here at how much you shared with us because most people would have charged like, hi, welcome to our $10,000 program to learn some of the tips and things you just gave us today. And I really want to say I'm honored. Thank you for sharing yourself in such a way. And you guys, every one of you listening to this show right now, you go get on Mark, find him on Facebook and friend him right now. Go do that right now.
Thank you.
Brian said, good job.
Yeah, I would recommend that you join my community because I'm at 5,000 friends and I haven't purged lately, so my apologies. But I would love to be your friend. And you did hear Vickie say that I'm quite expensive, and I can be for blue chip clients, but I love working with entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, and so on. And I've got some, great economically sound packages for these times as well. So I really want to help you. And for sure, we can help you for free in the group, the Customer Catcher community, or Entrepreneurs and Experts for Excellence, which it will soon be. But for today's broadcast, check out the Customer Catcher community on Facebook, or just find me on Facebook and send me a message and we'll go from there.
And that was the perfect thing. Thank you, everybody. Martin, thank you for being with you.
Thank you.
I will see you next week. We have a really great guest. Thanks, Martin. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.